Hi guys, Sourdough Kathy here. Today is the 9th of March and we are very snowy outside. We probably have about 15 inches on the ground now, if not more. But I needed to get my room done. I set forth. I busted my hump all day yesterday and parted today and a little bit the day before because it takes me extra long to do it. But I finally got my 3 tiers set up. You can see the top one is lit up. Then I have the second one down and then a third one on the bottom. They're not turned on, but that's where I will be doing all my starts for the summer. So I'm going to shut this off and I'm going to start by doing a few plantings because last year I started on the 1st of March and everything grew so fast that I had to put things out in my living room and have to put lights up. I don't want to do that this year. I would like to try and keep things in here. So I'm going to start with a few plants and I'll tell you what those are in just a sec. Well guys, this is what I'm going to start with this year. I love the fact that I was able to grow onions, and it was the first time that I've ever grown them before. And I have decided that I am going to give a whole garden to just onions because we just got finished using the last one like a month ago and I thought that was awesome. I also was able to still maintain all my pumpkins. I still have one pumpkin left, but I don't want to use so much space up for just some pumpkins. So this is one of the onions I am doing, which is the Spanish onion, the yellow one that I did last year. And I've decided to do a white Spanish onion this year. I am going to do the same tomatoes I did last year. They're called baby boomer hybrids and they are determinants. So they aren't going to grow 9 feet tall, which they can't do here anyway. And if we don't have a good summer like we did last year, they're not going to grow anyway. They're going to die. So the other thing I'm going to grow is some hot pepper tequila sunrises. I did have some other chilies that I thought I had bought, but somehow I either misplaced them or something. I'm not sure where they are. And I'm going to start some parsley early. And these are old seeds, so I'll be lucky if I get them to grow. We'll see. Parsley's kind of tough thing to grow. So here I have some coconut coir, some Pro Mix, because I don't have any compost in the house. It's kind of hard to do when you don't have a greenhouse. And the fact that there's still 15 inches or more of snow outside, I'm not going to try and trump to try and get anything out. There's no way I can do it. And these are my worm castings. And man, I'm telling you, these things are just beautiful. I mean, ugh. I just wish you could just plant in those. And I have. But I found that because they harden up on top, sometimes it makes it tough for seeds to grow. And then they still have to be put into some other soil because they're not getting enough nutrients. So this is my mix, and I'm going to mix this in because the worm castings are a little bit damp. Not much, so just damp enough to stay keeping the microbes going. And I'm going to mix it up in this container here. You know, for people who have never grown before, there are so many different ways of potting up and growing your things. Now, one thing I don't like about this Pro Mix, it has far too much big pieces of this vermiculite in it. It's just too big as far as I'm concerned. Last year what I did was I put it through a sieve and I got rid of all the big pieces, but I'm not going to play with it this year. I'm just going to put this all together and then I'm going to wet it down first. I don't like wetting it later It just takes, I want to be able to feel what my soil feels like when I'm putting it into the containers, so I know if it's super wet or not super wet. And you want to mix that. I want to mix this up good. If you ever plan on doing anything like this, especially with worm castings, you want to make sure that everything is mixed up really good. Because the worm castings really help the plants suck up the nutrients from the soil. And since this is a top grade, it's called the Pro Mix because it's a top grade potting soil mix. My son turned me on to this stuff, and it works really nice, especially when you have to start from the house, from in the house. And even here you can see it's really easy to overwater here, so I have to be super careful what I'm doing. And since we have chloramine in our water, not that I think it's important or not, because I really don't think it is, but this water's been sitting out for a good couple weeks now, so I'm not concerned about it being too much chlorine or affecting the microbes or any of that stuff, which some people get all freaked out about. But some tests have been done to show that in the British Columbia, a gentleman did a test on it and found that chloramine doesn't really affect the microbes that are in our gardens or in our worm bins. So I'll just take that for a, well, okay, that's cool. And just go from here. Now, there really isn't any. The biggest thing you got to know is how deep these things should be planted. Most of them I find are like a quarter-inch deep. So the only thing you would have to bury deeper would be your big seeds, like your for your pumpkins or squash, zucchini, whatever you want to call it. Courgettes, I think they call it over in England. Alright, that's about a nice consistency where it's not overly wet and it's not dry. A few pieces of potting mix are a little dry, but they'll suck up some water. Because what I'm going to do, well, let's do it. Okay, I'm going to take I have 3-inch pots here. I'm not using small ones this year because last year I got tired of potting up. So I'm starting with some big guys. And I wanted to make sure I had enough here. That's why I really filled that container up with, because I knew they were going to be big. Now I'm not going to totally cover them because what I do is I put a layer in here first. I'll tamp it down just a little bit. For those of you that know how to plant, you're going to use your own method. This is more of something for those that don't know how to do it. And like I said, watch other videos. There are so many people that are great gardeners. They're professionals. You know, I'm a home gardener. I've been doing this stuff for probably 50 years or more, but because I learned as a child how to grow things from my grandparents whom I lived with. And we had a garden every single year when I was a kid, but I remember him taking an old fish that he just caught down in a stinky old river, and that was polluted, and he'd stick that fish underneath the soil, and I ain't dead yet. So who knows? I think we're being poisoned with everything we eat today anyway. If it's not one thing, it's another. There's always somebody scaring us about something. If we worried about every single thing that was going to kill us, we'd just be dead. We wouldn't be even thinking about it because we'd be so freaked out. We'd all be in mental institutions. I didn't realize it took so long to fill up a thing. I should have shut off and filled up. But I'm almost done now, so you don't have to worry about it. The biggest thing on this too is how many you put into a cell. Now I found out that you can put a bunch of onions together and you can break them apart. They'll peel apart very easily when in the springtime when you want to put them in a garden. But since we have such a short growing period here, I really can't do that. I have to get them quite large before I can put them outside. Otherwise, they're just not going to make it to where they'll make a nice fat ball on them. So that's about that. Okay, now let me clean my hand off here a second in my little water pot and dry them. Okay, now what I'm going to do is start with, let's see, parsley. You know what, with parsley, it says it should emerge in 14 to 21 days. So they take quite a long time to grow, and they're only supposed to be a quarter of an inch deep. But you know what? Here's what I do. I'm going to sprinkle these on top. Just sprinkle them around. Not too many. And hope for the best. I don't need a lot of parsley, but it's always good to save, so I'll do 2 cells. That's that. Now, the onions, I want quite a bit of onions, but I'm going to do my onions a little bit differently than the parsley just now. I'm going to, now these are the Spanish onions from last year. These are still good. I don't think I'll have any problems with them, but I'm going to put an X number amount, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And by doing this, they're spread out, so I shouldn't have to go around and change them out before it's time to go out. Now last year they all came up. I was really blessed. Why my fingers don't want to move. They're quite stiff today because it's snowing. I'm going to take some of this stuff off.
Food ready for anybody that wants to eat. Hello?
I'm filming and my husband's calling me for dinner. Okay, that was the, okay, And I made me some handy dandy little homemade stickers. So these go here. And I'll be covering them up in a second there. Parsley will go between the two. And I did half of this. So I'm going to do this half over here of the white ones. These look a little bit bigger than the other ones, but they're about the same. A lot of people I know, I watch them and they do these things from sets, but to me it's like, why do you want to buy sets if you can get onions to grow from seed? I guess I don't understand it. You pay twice as much for them too. So those are my white onions from here down. That's 2, there's 3, 6, and then I'm going to put in some hot peppers. Now I know hot peppers take some time, and but I do know that you can grow more than one in a container, so I'm going to put 4 in each one of these, and I know that they take a little bit of time to grow, so I'm going to put those in there. And I may plant a few more of those too, but I do have a few of these tomatoes. There aren't many in here, so I may have to run out and get myself some more. And I was surprised because these are pretty spendy, and I guess it's because they're hybrids. And maybe that's why I did so well. But they have the teeny, I don't know if you can even see how tiny those seeds are. They're really small for tomato seeds. So I'm going to put those, where did I put, okay. Now last year these came up really good. I mean, zooma booma booma, they were up. And they grew like weeds too. So that's it. Now I'm just going to take some of this, pile it on top, about 1/4 of an inch is what it says. I may spray this down just a little bit because it seems a little bit not quite damp enough. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of some bubble wrap that I use for my worms to cover them up. Let's see, I'm going to put the hot peppers right here. I'll put it between the two since there's a... And I will put my tomato seeds between these two. And that's all there is to it. And as soon as I done here, I'm just going to, let's see, did I get this little guy here? No, I didn't. Missed one. But I could see them. Okay, that's it, guys. All done. And now I can set them. This room is nice and warm, so it really shouldn't take me very long for them to start popping up. We will see how things go. Hopefully it's all going to come out good. And then I'll turn my lights on in my little special area there, and we will be good to go. And I will put this over this and probably stick my little stickers down beside them. And that's it. If you like the content, if you like what you saw, please come back. Please give me a check, a subscribe. I sure appreciate all of my subscribers. Come back, visit. Thank you. I love you all. Bye-bye.